Welcome back, everybody, to another prison reality check episode of Lockdown 23 in 1. That's right, and I'm keeping you on your toes with the camo cap today. Yesterday was no cap. Gotta keep y'all checking your corners, you know what I mean? Anyways, all jokes aside, this is a very important update on the individual by the name of Daniel Williams. I did a video on this individual before anybody knew anything on the story, and now it's about 3,000 views from 1 million. Well, unfortunately, man, even with 1 million views and other people speaking on the situation later on down the road, adding millions and more views, it doesn't seem like it's helping the situation inside the Alabama prison system. People are still dying left and right and getting sexually assaulted like clockwork. And that's exactly what happened to the individual we're speaking about today. He was tied up and sexually assaulted for days, ended up dying the day he was due to be released. But like I said, there's an update on this individual and it's not a good one. We're gonna watch a news crew break down the situation and I'll give you my 2 cents along the way. Now, with all that being said, let's jump right into it, ladies and gentlemen. If you're new to the channel and enjoy all things lockup and crime related, then this is where you want to be. Hit that like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave, and check out my playlist with many more lockup related videos for you to start watching today.
I'm speechless, really.
Terry Williams' reaction after learning no one would face criminal charges for his son's brutal death.
And I think about it all the time. And then I lost my mom not too long before it.
Strong emotions as he recalled how his 22-year-old son was killed at Staten Prison a year ago.
It looked like mop handle where they was hitting him across the head or something, like the indentions of it, the bruising everywhere. I mean, it's something my parents shouldn't see.
Bruising on his wrists and ankles indicated he was tied up, assaulted over a 2 to 3 day period. DNA from a rape kit revealed 3 attackers.
Nobody should be treated like that. It doesn't matter what your charge is.
Daniel Williams, a father of 2, was serving a year sentence on drug charges. Had Daniel expressed fear in the prison? Had he been a target?
No, and like I talked to him 2 nights before this incident happened, and he was fine. You know, ready to come home.
Now look, I've been to prison 2 times, lived in cells, lived in dorms. And for someone to be tied up and sexually assaulted for 2 days is absolutely unheard of, man. Because you got head count, COs making rounds. Not to mention security cameras that could zoom in on the head of a pin. But Alabama obviously ain't got none of that going on. For someone to be held captive for 2 days, ankles and wrists tied up, someone in the prison staff has to be held accountable. As well as the people that did it. And that don't make no sense to me either. They said when they did the autopsy, they found 3 individuals' DNA, but no one gets charged for the crime. That means the DNA didn't match nothing. So what does that tell me? Are they not in the database? Because as far as I know, I believe every state, as soon as you're convicted of a felony, they swab your mouth for DNA, put you in this big database and make sure you don't pop up for past crimes, or maybe crimes in the future that you might commit. It'd be very easy to connect you to it now. Also, I don't know exactly how the whole DNA thing works. I'm not an expert. If I were to guess though, by them not matching up, leaves a huge window wide open with all kinds of questions. Could it have been a guard? His DNA won't be on record. Also, one of the first things I said to myself is what happened within those 2 days of him talking to his dad and everything's good, to being kidnapped and assaulted like that for 2 days. What the hell would make these inmates do that to him? Could he have said something? Could he have owed a debt? I have no earthly idea with this one. But if I were to guess, something took place and they probably said, let's send this guy home with a memory he'll never forget, but probably took it a little too far. I am not sure though, so don't stamp me on that. I'm just trying to make some sense out of all this. One thing's for sure though, staff need to be held accountable for something. And at the end of the video, I'm gonna break down some other incidents that took place within just a 4-month period in the Alabama prison system. It's gonna blow your mind, man. That's why I said, you know, years ago, before anybody was really talking about it, the state of Alabama, if you were to ask me, is the worst place to do prison time.
He was fine. You know, ready to come home.
Daniel had only been transferred into Staten a few weeks prior when he was found unconscious on another inmate's bunk. An I-team investigation found that inmate had a history of sexual violence, yet was housed in an open dorm area.
And this right here throws a hook in everything. His body was found on an inmate's bed that has been accused of all these sexual acts in prison. But not once, if I remember correctly, has that inmate been found guilty on anything That's why he's still in a dorm setting. His level hasn't increased. The only way your level increases is being found guilty for committing crimes in prison. Carrying shanks, drugs, being unauthorized area, all that stuff will help your level increase. But this guy's been getting through the cracks somehow. Nothing here makes sense. You would think they'd take the DNA from that guy since it was on his bed, which they probably did, but they didn't match. That's probably why he ain't getting charged for the crime. So who did it? Was he placed on the bunk? Keep in mind, this is an open dorm. You gotta know people are seeing it. Mark my words, something big's gonna come out about this one later on down the road. But let's henceforth with the news story.
Daniel died on the day he was to be released from prison.
How does this happen 2 to 3 days? Where are the guards?
It's a great question. In a secured prison, to have someone kidnapped and moved to a different dorm where he's not supposed to be for a period of days, it's unconscionable.
Did you hear what he said? He was in a whole nother dorm. And for those that don't know, a dorm is like a big hangar or big room, gym, something like that with hundreds of bunks in it. No concrete walls separating it. Everyone has to share the same shower. Got about 5 or 10 toilets, sinks, and shower heads. Cell living, of course, you're going to have 1, 2, maybe 3 inmates. And you close the door, you got a little peace of mind at night to escape the rest of the people in the block. And this took place in a dorm, and I'm here to tell you, everyone sees almost everything taking place in a dorm. There's nosy people everywhere. You can't hide it. I mean, you can put a drape up, but people are going to be talking. The ones that seen what's going down. Whispers and birdies are going to be chirping. So for no charges to be made, that means the whole dorm is keeping their mouth shut. That in itself, too, is absolutely unheard of. There's so many snitches in jail and prison, man, it will blow your mind. And shout out to this individual with the Appleseed Project, I believe is what they said. Anyone bringing light to these awful situations, man, you got respect in my book.
It's unconscionable. There should have been officers to see that. There should have been cameras.
Alabama Appleseed researcher Eddie Burkhalter says he's surprised the Elmore County grand jury returned no indictments.
Daniel's death and the inability to hold anyone to account is further evidence that more eyes need to be on this crisis.
It's further evidence that something much deeper is at play here, if you were to ask me. Someone's hiding something. We're going to find out sooner or later. I think when time goes by, someone from that dorm's going to open their mouth about the situation.
The prisons have gotten worse across the board. We see an increase in violence and death.
Terry Williams says corruption opens the door for violence.
One of the eyewitnesses, the stuff happened to him, is just he didn't die from it.
The family outraged. The prison system failed to protect their son. Now the justice system has failed them as well.
I go by the grave like once a week, and it's getting harder. Change has got to happen somewhere, or otherwise it's just going to keep death after death after death.
But that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. Just want to give you a little update on this. Love to hear y'all's thoughts in the comments section below. And I'm just really wondering what could have happened between that phone call with his dad and the day that he was supposed to be released that changed everything. Was he showboating about going home to the wrong people? Did he know or see something that he shouldn't have? Was it inmates just taking things too far and ended up killing him? I really hope someone comes forward with intel on this, man, because those dudes that did something like that to him are monsters, and they don't deserve to be walking nowhere near society. You know what? If they're short-timers too, they could have been released already. Crazy to think that people are getting away with stuff like this, especially in a prison that's supposed to be filled with cameras. Walmart's got more cameras than that damn prison, protecting those hologram Pokemon cards, but they ain't got enough cameras to protect a human in prison. Let that sit in, ladies and gentlemen. There's got to be change. And just to put into perspective, like I said in the video, I was going to name some other incidents that took place within just a 4-month span inside the Alabama prison system. It says a prisoner at Bibb was drugged and awoke in the middle of being sexually assaulted. An inmate at the Bullock prison self-harmed himself because of a gang that sexually assaulted him. A prisoner at Donaldson self-harmed himself as well, saying he had been sexually assaulted in a bathroom. There was another occasion where doctors had to perform emergency surgery on a Donaldson inmate to remove a broomstick from where the light don't shine, to put in better words. Yeah, they're still doing the old broomstick type of thing in the Alabama prison system. A prisoner at a facility called Fountain reported that he had been sexually assaulted every day since he arrived in that prison. A Holman prisoner said he passed out from smoking synthetic drugs. He awoke to prisoners punching him in the eye. Then 4 or 5 other prisoners put up a drape or a partition around the bed, which would hide them taking turns sexually assaulting that individual. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. The list goes on. Hopefully they get things in check. They do have a $1 billion prison being made as we speak. It ain't gonna help with staff shortages. At least the living conditions and security cameras should be top notch. And that, my friends, itself will limit a lot of violence, murders, assaults, all kinds of things. But that is a wrap, and stay tuned. I got another update on the story that I did yesterday. Turns out more details came out about this situation, so I'm gonna give you a little update. Not to mention, I seen a reel come across my page the other day of someone bringing this story up to their viewers right after I did. And I think they got the wrong scope of things, man, because it seems like they're kind of defending the dude. I don't think they heard the interrogation calls. Anyways, I'm gonna break all that down when we get there, ladies and gentlemen, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, though, as always, y'all be easy, be safe, and more importantly than anything, stay free.